A very good morning to all gathered here. We'll start with our day 2 session today. So, with this, I would like to introduce our today's resource person, Dr. Mangala Keshava. With great happiness and gratitude, I take this opportunity to introduce Ma'am. Dr. Mangala Keshava, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore. She completed her Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering from MS Ramaya Institute of Technology, Bangalore in 1984. Later pursued Master of Engineering in Structures, UVCE from Bangalore University in 1992. Further completed PhD in Behavior of Masonry under Axial, Eccentric and Lateral Loading from VTU Technological University in 2013. Her various specialties are structural masonry, reuse and recycle, materials and technology, energy aspects and building. She has published 11 papers in various journals and presented 21 papers in various conferences. She was also invited as resource person for 7 various technical talks. Under Madam, 4 scholars is pursuing PhD and 1 scholar is awarded with PhD degree. She is also a IQAC director from May 2016. It's a great honor to have you among us, ma'am. Now I request our today's resource person, Dr. Mangala Keshava, to take over this session. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Thank you for a nice introduction. And also I thank the organization ATME College of Engineering from Mysuru for having invited me to share my experiences and then some thoughts on IQAC and on criteria 3. There are 2 topics today under this FDP program. I congratulate the university, that is the ATME College, for having taken up this organizing this FTP program, which is very much required, and the title also is very apt. That is importance of NAAC for higher education institutes. So in this connection, a very good initiative taken along with the Association of IQAC of the college, and I'm very happy to share whatever I have experienced being as IQAC director in BMS College of Engineering, and also having gone through the second cycle of NAAC in March 2019. So I will start with the presentation here. I hope the screen is visible. Hello?
Ma'am,
no, not yet, madam.
No, ma'am, it's not visible, ma'am.
Yeah. Is it visible now?
No, ma'am.
No.
It's because network issues, few seconds delay will be there, ma'am.
Okay, shall I just wait?
See this.
Yeah, can you just tell me now if when it is visible so that then I can start off with the presentation?
No, ma'am, it's not visible, ma'am.
I think you need to share the screen, madam.
Yes, I will. Is it visible now?
No.
No, ma'am.
Oh, what is happening? Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
it's visible.
Yeah, the full screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
full screen visible.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Okay. So you can stop me anytime if there is any problem with the slide, so that I will rectify it immediately. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. As introduced by Sneha madam, so I'm Dr. Mangala Keshava here, working for the last 28 years in the Department of Civil Engineering of the great institute BMS College of Engineering. And then, of course, very recently I have been asked to take up the responsibility as Director of IQAC, which I have taken it in May 2016. And then have gone through several cycles of AQAR and also the NAAC second cycle. Now, my contents of the talk is like this. There are 3 parts. that I would like to share with you. The first part, I will emphasize on the role of IQAC. In the second part, it is about how IQAC is related to NAAC. So there are some very important documents that has to be done for NAAC. So the second part, I will be talking about that documents. And the third is criteria 3, which have been asked to share with all of you. Now, why I have divided into these three parts is that IQAC plays a pivotal role for all the three what I have mentioned over here. So my first part of the talk will be about a NAAC, the assessment and accreditation process very briefly, the role of IQAC, the self-study report that is very important to be submitted to NAAC, and all the documentation process that is associated with SSR, and some sample slides. Now, the first part of it, what I will talk to you, will be the same for all the 7 criteria of the NAAC. But I will go in detail only with respect to criteria 3. Now, once the college decides to go for cycle 2 or of any of the cycles, cycle 1 or subsequent cycles of NAAC, it is very important that they go through the second part of it, which I have mentioned as IIQA, the profile of the institution and the extended profile of the institution. Now, let us start with the first part of my talk. Now, before that, I know there are participants from different parts of the country. So, it is nice to share this particular head office in Bangalore, which is in a very spacious area on the outskirts of Bangalore with lot of greenery around it. This is the head office of NAAC here. Now, this is a typical screenshot of NAAC. Being in IQAC, it is almost, I can say, it is mandatory that you need to keep looking at the NAAC website. You have to see that somebody is assigned so that every day at least once you please look into the NAAC website because their website is very dynamic. They keep sharing a lot of information and it is very necessary that we could pick some things from that. So that is why I have just put this screenshot. So it is, I think it's a good practice that the IQAC office or the IQAC director should keep looking into the updates that is given by the NAAC website. Now, there are some contacts. So with respect to NAAC, you have to see what are the announcements that are done, what are the notice that they would like to share with the higher education institutes, and what is the path that it has to be tread. So that is guided in form of some guidelines that is put forward by NAAC. So not that every day they will change, but definitely there will be some issues that they will share so that the higher education institutions can pick from that and then move further with that. So, and there are, of course, the archives and the different websites that are given there, the telephone numbers that are there. The help desk is very important here because any doubts that we have here, we have to contact the help desk and they are available in the timings that is specified over here. Now, about NAAC. NAAC, as everybody knows, the abbreviation, and it stands for National Assessment and Accreditation Council. It is a national body, and then whatever they are doing, it's really very, very great initiatives that they have taken. And then they have a very nice vision statement, which says that making quality assurance an integral part of the functioning of higher education institutions. I would just like to underline over here 2 words that we have to keep in mind from the vision statement. One is the quality assurance, the other one is the higher education institutions. They talk only about quality and they want to see that each and every higher education institute treads the path of quality. Now, in order to take this forward, they have a methodology. The methodology is the self-assessment by the institution along with external peer assessment organized by NAAC. So this is something that they just leave it to the institution itself to do assessment, to do their own self-assessment. So based on this self-assessment, they decide on the grades to be awarded. Now, the accreditation framework of NAAC is based on 5 core values. Again, this slide I'm sharing because all of us should know what are the core values of NAAC so that whatever we take initiative in the institute should be directed towards these 5 core values. The first is contributing to national development, being the citizen of this great country, it is very much required that each one of us contribute in some form or the other to the development of the nation. Second is we have to see that our students become competent globally, because the students are there in every continent of this world. So we have to see that they are able to compete and excel when they come across global competencies. Next is India is known for a very strong value system. So hence we have to keep up the tradition of that. So they have mentioned the third core value as inculcating a value system among students. The fourth is the need of the hour, promoting the use of technology. With this pandemic situation, I think all of us know how technology has helped us. So we have to see that everybody is tuned, right from the person who is there, an illiterate, I can say. I would also like to say now it has become, first it was formal education where we used to call as illiteracy. The second was computer education where we used to call as computer illiterates. And now we have moved on to something called as digital illiteracy. So we have to see that we have to catch up with what is the prevailing technology that is available. And the last is we should always have the thirst to excel. So that is why they have mentioned that as quest for excellence. So these five core values should always be in the background, so that any institute, whatever initiatives they take, they have to fall in line or align themselves towards these five core values. Very briefly about the assessment and accreditation of HEI that is taken up. So it could be an assessment procedure which will be based on a revised assessment now, and the framework of accreditation is on ICT. It should be ICT enabled, objectives and transparency. It should be scalable or measurable, and then it should be robust. Now, the second point is focus of assessment. Now, this focus of assessment is on the focus on quality culture, and this quality culture has three important words. One is what quality initiative, second is quality sustenance, and third is quality enhancement. So if I want to say in one line about this FDP title that you have said, that importance of NAAC for higher education institutes, then I say you can do that only with respect to these three words. We have to see whether an institute has taken up quality initiatives. Having taken up quality initiatives, how are they sustaining that quality? Having done that, what else they can do? The next step is they have to, you cannot stay in that particular platform. You need to move on, and hence you have to see whether you have enhanced your quality measures that you have taken. So this is the second point on assessment where you need to focus. The third is, it's the measurable one. Now, it is not enough that higher education says, I am following quality culture in the college. So somebody else needs to acknowledge that. Somebody else need to grade that. So that is where a self-study report is put forward by the NAAC people. This self-study report is a very major document which involves each and every stakeholders. So I have mentioned who are the stakeholders over here. It is the management of the institute. It also contains the faculty members, comprises of the administrative staff, the technical, the non-technical staff, students, parents, employers, community, and alumni. If I have missed any other stakeholder, you're welcome to add on to this particular slide. So this is the assessment and accreditation that HEI has for HEI that is put forward by NAAC. Now, the institutional grades, I know all of you, or at least most of you, will be aware what is the institutional grades and the accreditation status, but I would still like to share with this slide. So it starts from A++ to D, and you can see what is the cumulative grade point average, the CGPA that is mentioned here, and the grade that is associated and the status. So then I can say if any college is going for the NAAC accreditation, so then their focus should be only on A++. So you need to do your preparation for A++. Whether you get A++ or not is secondary, but at least your preparation, your dedication, your commitment should be at least focused on A++. So that is the reason I think that this initiative of the FDP is taken, so that more and more HEI, that is the higher education institutes, take up this NAAC accreditation, which there are different cycles that is there. Some of them would not be still inducted into it. Some have gone through cycle 1. Some would have taken cycle 3 or even cycle 4. It goes like that up to cycle 5. So now this is the grades that is given here, and we have to be one thing very clear, that the accreditation that is done associated with NAAC is different with the accreditation that is done by the NBA, National Board of Accreditation. There is just one difference, if I have to tell it very briefly. The National Board of Accreditation is done with respect to program specific. So if I say civil department, it is not again the department, it is the program. Whether the undergraduate BE program of civil engineering has been accredited, or whether it is masters like structural engineering has been accredited, or whether it is power electronics, a program which is being accredited. So it is associated with program specific, whereas the NAAC and the grades that you see here are associated with institute specific. So as a college, you can go in for accreditation. The accreditation in terms of NAAC, they have 3 types. If it is in the university level, you have a different application form to download and fill. If you are an autonomous college, you have a different application. If it is affiliated college, a college that is affiliated, then you have a different application. So that is the first foremost step, that IQAC should be very clear which is the application that it will download. So being BMS college, it is an autonomous college from 2008, and so hence we took up the second application that was associated with accreditation. Now, from here, my slide will now talk about IQAC. So IQAC stands for Internal Quality Assessment Cell, or Internal Quality Assurance Cell. It is a body that is formed in the institute. So we have the formation of the core cell, with the representatives from all the stakeholders that I mentioned previously. Now, what IQAC has to do is it has to identify department level coordinators. Now, this is very, very important. Now, there are different departments. Like if I say in BMS college, we have 13 engineering departments, 3 the pure science departments, that is 16, and then we have the MBA and MCA. So there are 18 departments. So that means I need to have minimum at least 18 coordinators who come forward with the information from the department side. So this is the first and foremost thing. The coordinators can be on rotation, that you see to it a coordinator is available in that particular department at least for 2 to 3 years, so that he will be able to identify what is it that IQAC is looking forward. The next is not only identifying the IQAC coordinators, you also have to identify the role and responsibilities of the coordinators. What do you expect the coordinators to do, or what is the level of cooperation, or what is the level of information that you expect from the coordinators? Now, these coordinators represent the face of a department. So you need to see that a coordinator who is committed, who is dedicated to take this responsibility and do it, because this is a thankless job that you do. But at the same time, you should be very aware that you are representing the institute on the national and the international forefront. So you have a very big responsibility. So very judiciously, the department coordinator has to be selected. The next part of it that the coordinator or the IQAC together have to do is they have to participate in each and every academic, curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular activity. That means I say participate means they should be aware of it. They should know what is going on, and then keep a document, record it and keep it for reference. It is not enough if we just leave it at that stage. We need to report this to the higher ups. That means we need to report it to the core cell. Ask what is the information. Is it enough? Is it something else that can be done? Is it something better can be done? So that is the 360-degree circle that has to be completed. Otherwise, it will just remain as a document. The whole idea of NAAC is to inculcate a quality culture in the institute. So we have to see that this is a continuous process. There is nothing like a full stop for this. So one coordinator is there, and there are several reasons that the coordinator would like to leave and another coordinator comes. So this should be a smooth process of handing over the responsibility from one coordinator to another coordinator. So this is the participation of IQAC that is required. And lastly, all this is possible if IQAC, the institute identifies a separate and a robust office for IQAC. It is the nerve cell of the college, and hence a separate office, a separate cabin should be there, so that people who work under this IQAC office head, they should be given free space and free hand to collect the data and then move ahead. Yeah, now I will just put a small slide here, that is the stakeholders. Why I have put the slide is that I have identified 5 stakeholders here, like I have shown it on the left hand side. Now all of them play a role in IQAC and in turn shape the future of the higher education institute. So how does this happen? This happens the performance of the students, the dedication of the teachers, the support from the alumni, the trust that the employers have so that they keep coming to take the students who have graduated from the institute. And finally, the confidence of the parents so that they feel, yes, this higher education institute gives everything to my wards. So I will recommend and I will tell everybody, please, you see that you take up this particular college for your education. So this is what is required from the stakeholders. You have to take all, IQAC has to take all the people together, take the suggestions, take the advice. Everything is not possible to be met, but at least you can take their advice and see in a phased manner you're able to see that whatever they have suggested, you're being able to implement. So this is how you need to, IQAC has to take everybody into confidence to move forward. Now, the core committee that I said is the nerve cell. IQAC is the nerve cell of the institute. Now, what is a core committee that an IQAC has? Now, core committee comprises of external members and then internal members. Now, who are the members is also specified by NAAC. They say they need representation from the industry, from the alumni, from a local body or a society, and from an entrepreneur. And in addition to that, they have put up some representation for the internal, that is within the college. The head of the institution by default becomes the chairman of IQAC. The IQAC coordinator, or you call it as IQAC director, you call anybody. In NAAC, it is the convener that they call. Then you should have some few department IQAC coordinators. You must have a management representative. You must have a registrar, you must have a controller of examination, a must have chief a librarian, a representation from a technical staff, and also must have a student representative. So you must see that all this being met. The number is not the idea. So if I count this, 12 representation is a must. Okay, the only thing that you can play around is the few department IQAC coordinators. Whether you would like to put 5 of them, whether you like to put 2 of them, whether you like to put 10 of them is left to the IQAC. But this is the representation that you have to have. And not enough that it's the representation, whom you're picking as your industry representative, whom you're picking as your alumni, who is the one who is coming from the society, and who is the one who is representing the entrepreneur body is very important. So you need to see that somebody who will give some advice as to how to take this institute forward. Secondly, they are very much experienced in their own areas. And thirdly, they should be able to do a critical thinking on how the IQAC is treading or how the IQAC is taking the HEI forward. The critical thing is very important because whatever critical points that they say should be taken positively by the college. Only then the growth of the college is ensured. So this is very important. So this is minimum. They say you can have one industry, no problem. You can also have two industry people representing on the body, but one of each is a must. In BMS college, of course, I don't say that this is what has to be followed. I can only say this is what was followed by BMS college. So my IQAC committee members has 21 on board. So we are 21 of us who are taking this college or looking at all angles of the college. Now, what are the responsibilities of IQAC? There are several responsibilities that IQAC will be called for. I would like to say very important is the strategic planning. Now, strategic planning is with respect to short and long-term goals. The short-term goals is decided whether it could be 3 years or it could be 5 years. A long-term goal could be accordingly 5 years or it could be 8 years or even 10 years. So they have to be involved in the short and long-term goal because this strategic planning is a very important exercise. Now, when you put up the short-term and the LTG that they call long-term goals, then what happens is the departments who are there in that particular institute will again align themselves the objectives, the vision, mission statement, all the department level goals will then be aligned towards this STG and the LTG of the institute. So very carefully, the strategic planning has to be done. So that is where the core committee members play a very important role in coming forward with this STG and LTG. Of course, the next one are the timely submissions of AQARs, that is annual quality assurance reports, which is again a Hercules task which is to be done by IQAC. Then they also have another important job, a continuous job on hand, that is the academic and administrative audits. Now, this audit is, of course, an exercise that is carried out periodically. If I have to share with what we do at BMS College of Engineering is, our academic audit happens twice in a year. What we do it at the end of every semester. So the academic audit is again split into three forms. We have a faculty level audit where the faculty does a self audit. And then we have a department level audit. So an academic audit team is there, or an academic or audit committee members are there in the department. Every department should have this particular committee. So each and every faculty self audit is submitted to them. They judiciously look into it. What is it that the audit comprises of? The audit comprises of what was the courses that was handled, what were the COs that was put forward, how were the COs aligned with POs, what were the pedagogy methods that was undertaken, what was the evaluation process that was done, the question papers, the performance of the students, identifying the slow learners and the fast learners, and accordingly what was the initiative taken by the staff member, and so on and so forth. It's a very big document that we have devised at BMS College of Engineering, that is the faculty self audit. Now, having done this, let us say there are 25 members in a department, and these 25 members are taking at least 50 courses. So then there are 50 faculty self audit that comes. Each faculty has to submit a self audit, which is with respect to each and every course that is taken. So so a staff member takes, let us say I take 2 courses, then I have to submit 2 self audits. So like this, it is put forward to the department council. The department, that is the academic audit council, will see to it that what is the lacunae over there, see what were the results, and all other this very meticulously they do. And we have IQAC as also, it is IQAC in coordination with the Dean Academics has come forward with this structure of the faculty self audit, has come forward with the structure of the department audit that is required. Now, once that is done, the last audit, the third one in our college that is followed, is institute level self audit. Institute level audit, faculty self audit, department audit, and then the institute level audit. Institute level audit is initiated by IQAC. So it is left to IQAC to take some senior staff members along with deans and some directors, whatever is the designation that is there, who are the people who are involved with academics, take a representation, a few of them, and then conduct the audit of the academic audit for all the departments. So that is done at the end of every semester. So that happens twice in a year. Now, what is administrative audit? Now, an administrative audit is an audit that does with respect to the administration that is going on. Now, it could be which are the different sections that is there, the examination section, the admission section. For the finance audit, it is not a problem because at the end of the financial year, every college will go through a finance audit and that will be given by the chartered accountant. So that is not a problem, but still you need to have a look as to what has been the comments that is given by the auditor. It could be the sports section, it could be the library section. So where different heads will present what is it that, like for example, library, what is the number of books that they have taken, what are the new arrivals that they've added, which are the new journals, or have they come out with any innovative ideas of handling it, have they come out with what is the e-content that they could put forward, and so on and so forth. So each and every person needs to give some information annually. So that is audited again by the IQAC. So this that is what NAAC calls it. Triple A is very important. That is academic and administrative audit that you conduct. It is generally we do it as an internal audit, whether it is academic or administrative audit. Of course, to some extent, administrative audit we also call an external person, and of course we also call external people for academic audit also. Having done this, IQAC submits what is the observation of the outcome of this audit to an external body. And so they will say whether they will give their comments, and that becomes the plan of action for the IQAC. So IQAC has to, at the starting of the year, academic year, has to roll what are the plans that will be taken up in that ensuing academic year. At the end of it, we have to reflect and see what has been the outcomes of that. Planning could be always on the higher side, but we have to see whether we have met all that particular points that we have given. If not, no path. The NAAC will not say anything. Nobody will point out and say. What NAAC looks is whether there is a continuous improvement with respect to quality in that higher education institution. Today, in this year, there may be 0 with respect to something, some parameter. But tomorrow, it could be 1. And thereafter, it could be 10. So that is the path that they say whether you are treading, whether the growth is in the upward direction. That is the only thing that we have to ensure. Now, the next responsibility of IQAC is preparing for the cycles of NAAC document. So that I have already mentioned in my earlier slides. Then preparation and submission of SSR, which I think I will look into it a little later in this presentation. And then, of course, the last one that I keep telling, involvement in all activities of the institution. So it is a very big task of the IQAC. So as I have mentioned, of course, I have mentioned only the important ones. My next slide will tell you a little more in detail. So that is the major IQAC activities that was taken up or is being attended at our college. I have told you the details of academic audit of all the departments. Annual report also have said. The next one is participation in all this important activity. That is NIRF. Because NIRF will project the image of the institute. It is the institute ranking framework, that is a national means it is not just participating. The document that is prepared for NIRF goes from the IQAC office. So for any other NBA related, though NBA is a program specific, in program specific also you have part A and part B of your NBA. In which part A you have to submit the information from the institute. So again, they will link with IQAC. They will ask IQAC to give all the information from the institute level. And then they have to see with respect to university affiliation. Now, university affiliation, it could be a temporary one, it could be a permanent one. So all that you have to keep a track of it. And then we have to see what are the UGC guidelines that they have given, information to be provided, and then so on and so forth. We have to facilitate some training programs. We have to identify whether technical staff require training programs, whether non-technical require. So all those, of course, there are people under those heads who will take forward, but IQAC also plays a role because they will see whether it is important, whether it is meaningful for conducting these particular training programs, and they will specify. Please tell what is the outcome of it. You have to have a specific outcome for the training programs that is conducted. Next is we have conducting periodical meetings, discussion with faculty members to collect data and share the best practices amongst departments. So we ask the different departments to share their best practices, and then they make a presentation, either the head of the department or the head of the department along with the IQAC department coordinator will share what are the best practices that is followed in their respective departments, so that this will give some sort of awareness and also information for others to follow. So this is actually that best practice, that is also one of the best practices. Okay. Then conducting orientation program for newly recruited faculty members. Now, many of the faculty members, when they join this teaching line, they would have joined by chance or by choice. So whatever may be the reason, you have to see, even if they've joined by chance, they have to convert this to choice. That means they should love the teaching profession and see to it that what is it this academic world demands from them, what is the contribution from them. So that is why we have some sort of an orientation program for the newly recruited faculty members. It's a rigorous one. Those faculty members who are having experience less than 5 years, every year they are subjected to this orientation program, where we have people, senior faculty members from, or the deans from the college addressing them. And we also have people from premier institution who would like to come, who are invited, and they also will address this newly recruited faculty members. The next is we have to liaise with the media to share information. Now, every institute will have that wish and ambition and dream that we have to be an institute of excellence, that we have to be number one, we have to be in top 10. So whatever could be that, but your image has to be put up somewhere. So that is where there are different surveys that are conducted. Like, for example, it could be 360-degree survey, it could be the India Today survey, the Outlook. There are some Times of India. There are different people who will be asking for information, and each one will have their own format. So information lies with IQAC. But into which format they want, again, is the responsibility of IQAC office, that they have to keep sharing this information. The next is major academic committees extend support, involved in all academic and administrative activities that I have already mentioned. Then we have to propose a plan of action towards quality enhancement. That is what I said. Every year IQAC has to roll what is a plan of action. And then at the end of the year, when you submit to your core committee members, you have to mention what has been the outcome of it. So I told you, it is not possible that we meet 100% of it, but definitely at least 70% at least we should have tried to meet what was planned. Now this plan of action, whatever we give from IQAC, again should be in line with the strategic planning of the institute. The last one that I have mentioned here is conduction of SWOT analysis. Very important. That is the strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenge. So this document again is the responsibility of IQAC. They have to make this document almost every year and present it to the governing body, so that they say this is the strength of our college. These are the weaknesses. These are the opportunities that we have, but we have not been able to tap it. These are the challenges. It is very important. Now we are in top 100. We are 1 in 100. But then we have to move on. The head of the institute would say, why not we come 1 in 50? So these are the and what are the challenges to meet that. So that analysis has to be done. So we do an internal analysis. IQAC does this in coordination with the MBA department, and also we put this to the external body. We ask the external analyst to just give his viewpoints on the SWOT analysis. This gives to some extent how the college can shape up. So that is one thing. The other one is green audit and energy audit. Again, these are also part of the SSR that we submit for NAAC. But again, we do a separate audit. IQAC does what is a green audit. Green audit, as you know, it is the eco-friendly campus that is there. So you have to see how eco-friendly is the campus that we have, what is the green cover that we have, and all other issues that is related with green audit. It could be the water, it could be the campus ambience that is there, it could be the greenery, it could be the number of trees or whatever the saplings, and so on and so forth. And then energy audit. Now, generally, we get associated with our electrical department to do this energy audit. So we find out what is the energy requirement of the college and what are the renewable energies that can be installed. So with that, we have installed a lot of solar cells on our terraces. And then how much of our energy was, how much of our dependence on electricity can be come down, and then how we can see that we can become self-sufficient, how we can generate energy and give it back to the grid. So this is what is the energy audit that is done. So these are some of the few major IQAC activities that I have just put forward here. There are a little more, but what I felt was which is important or which is followed in our college. And again, I repeat, it is not the practice that is there. I'm saying it is the practice that is practiced by BMS College of Engineering that I'm sharing. You're always welcome to add some more to make this better, to change this or modify, so that ultimately quality does not come down. I am very proud to put this slide over here because this is my IQAC office. People who slog in day in and day out. So the previous slide I showed you the activities. So you can imagine how much of load is there for these people to work and go on furnishing this information in the format that each one of them want. So this is myself here. And then I have Mr. G. Srinivas, who is the person who will very well coordinate with all the department IQAC coordinators. So this person will see to it that right information comes at the right time. So that is the job done by Mr. Srinivas. Then we have Mrs. Shanta Kumari over here, who will go on following up. So she will make a checklist, find out what is the information that was asked, why it has not come, and immediately after the deadline, she will go on following up. These two people, this is Mrs. Jayashree here and Mrs. Saraswati here. Now, Mrs. Saraswati here is a person who is very well versed with the computer. So this is very important. IQAC office should have a very strong hand at the computer. So she is a person who is very good at the internet or the web or everything that you say with respect to computerization of this data. She just compiles it. You just ask what is the information, she will just take it out from the computer and just give it. So that is to the extent that she weighs. I'm very proud to be a part of these people. But for them, it would not have been possible to put up this NAAC cycle. And I say hats off to them because the work that they have done is commendable. Of course, for the NAAC, we had Mrs. Jayashree, another additional hand, so that it was an overload for Saraswati Madam. So we have also asked her. She also pitched in at the right time, and then she has done an excellent work. Now, IQAC office, it's not that now we have grown. Now, this is the office that I'm presenting here, but we have some external support from the college itself. That is, to this team, we have another webmaster, Professor Ramohan Reddy, who is from the MCA department. So he is the one who will continuously see that our website is being looked into. All the updates are there on the website. See, one thing I would like to share: the external world will be seeing our website. So we have to see that proper information, genuine information, is ethically put forward on the website. And so then you should make, so it's a very dynamic website that we have. And then NAAC also will cross check from the website. See, now whatever information we share is not only for the document that we are giving, it is for everybody to be aware of it. So, and it is there on the public domain. So that is the level of transparency that is being met in our college. So we have a webmaster also here. And then, of course, he plays a very important role. We have a person from the research department, ICRD cell, where continuously they'll be looking into the publications, patents body. Then we have a consultancy cell. Then we have so many cells. I would like, you're interested, you could always log on to our website and look into the cells that are there. Now, I would say that I'll just end this part of the presentation on the first part of it by saying that who are the people who have to be involved in the NAAC process. The first and foremost is the magnanimous management and the head of the institution. This is very, very important. That is whomever I have mentioned on the slide, and I have said any other, etc. Everybody should feel that yes, our college should get nothing less than the top grade in NAAC. So that should be the pulse of each and everybody. I always like to say one important sentence, which I'm very proud to say also. Our head of the institution, Principal Dr. B.V. Ravishankar, who is also from the civil department and heading the institution for the last 2 years, was actively involved with this NAAC second cycle. It was very nice to work with him, because I always feel that in cricket, if you go to the World Cup winning, the winning of the World Cup for India would not have happened without MS Dhoni as the captain there. So that is the commitment our principal had. He is a person who could be very approachable. We could do it. And he was there with us throughout. We have worked for the NAAC process for several hours, for several weekends and several holidays. But he was there with us when we were working. So this is very important. If you're going for NAAC, there should be, I say, a oath or a pledge from all these people who are going to be associated with this NAAC process. Of course, yeah, the IQAC members that I told you, that is the core committee members, external and internal, the coordinators, the administrative staff, again, all of them, library, so on and so forth. Also, I have put any other. You also have people from NCC, NSS, each and every body, each and every person, starting from the security person at the gate to the gardener or to the hostel wardens or to the hostelites who are there or to the housekeeping people. Everybody plays a role when this NAAC comes into picture. So in order to tap that potential, in order to see that everybody does their best, is what IQAC has to be aware of. IQAC has to take everybody into confidence and then work towards whatever has been the goal that is set by IQAC. The next slide is, now I just take a little time to tell you what is the important points to get ready for the NAAC cycle. I have put this intentionally in 2 colors. Now, if you're not into a NAAC cycle, right, then you just follow, IQAC has to follow the white points over here. That is formation of the cell, has to report the plan of action, has to submit the compliance report, and of course the AQARs. So this is one thing which goes on, which is a must for the IQAC to look into it. But now, if the institute decides to go for the NAAC cycle, in addition to this, it has to take up the green points. That means it has to prepare the IIQA, Institutional Information for Quality Assessment, preparation of the self-study report, and then, very important, to carry out the student satisfaction survey. Now, this student satisfaction survey is 2.7.1, which comes under criteria 2. This is very important. See, I can say anything from my side as a person from the college, from the higher education institute. I can say, yes, quality is maintained in here, quality is there, and all so on and so forth. But NAC relies on what does the student tells, because ultimately the students are the people who carry this image to the outside world. So whether they have been satisfied, see, students join the institute with lot of confidence, with lot of expectation. So did we as an institute provide that? Did we see that our student, when he goes out, is a satisfied person? Yes, I have acquired this knowledge. Yes, I have been molded and developed as a good human being. So, and these are the things that the NAC will introspect, will find out from the student. So, this student satisfaction survey is also a very important responsibility of IQAC. So this, I think, will be dealt how the survey is being done and so on and so forth by a resource person who will talk to you on criteria too. So, but I just want to mention that these are very important. These 3 points of the one marked in green, very important for the next cycle. Now, I will just go that in detail. What is IIQA and what are the data requirements for the self-study report? A few of the slides that I will mention before I start off with the second part. Now, the data requirements for self-study report. Now, why am I putting all this? It is IQAC again. I'm still, please mark it, underline it, that this is the job of IQAC. So it's the IQAC that has to prepare the executive summary. You may ask the IQAC director to do it, or the director can ask another body to do it. Like in the BMS college, we identified when the NAC was decided to go in for NAC, we decided to have a steering committee. So they are again comprising of another few members, senior members, and they become the committee members. To each committee member takes care of one criteria. So we have 7 criterias, means 7 the steering committee members were there. So they are responsible to what will be projected in that particular criteria. Now, having done that, if they have taken that responsibility of becoming criteria 1 has one person, criteria 2 has another person, like that, they submit one paragraph. Each paragraph, there it is mentioned from NAC, it should comprise of 250 words. So 250 words summary of criteria 1, 250 words summary of criteria 4. Each one of them have to give, and that is called as executive summary. Either the IQAC can do it, or it is left for the to collect it from the steering committee and do it. This is very important. Next is profile of the college to be mentioned. Of course, this is all the details of the college. It could be the lab details or the classroom details or the number of working people, number of female members, number of male members, so on and so forth. So all the details of the autonomous college. Quality indicator framework, that I will take up in the coming slides. What are the QIF that is there? Then fourth one is again important. This evaluative report of the departments is again the responsibility of IQAC, but this can be done with the help of the department IQAC coordinators. Anyway, they are the connectors. They are going to bridge between the IQAC cell and the department. So that information can be taken by the evaluative, can be taken by the department coordinators, who will do it in connection with the head of the department. Again, it's a very big report that they have to give. I said in our college we had 18 departments, so we have to submit 18 evaluative reports to the NAC office. So this is another important one. And the last one is the data template or the documents. I think this words, I think everybody is familiar. Like we have QL and QN metrics, that is qualitative metrics and quantitative metrics. Now, at this stage, I would like to mention the ratio at which this is being distributed is 30:70. That means qualitative metrics are roughly around 30% of your metrics in the self-study report, and 70% is the quantitative metric. Now, this quantitative metric is the one that when you submit will be cross-checked, verified, validated by the NAAC. It is when the peer team visits the college, it is a qualitative metric that you have done that they will look into. So both are important, but this a little more of this when I discuss in the slide, I can the criteria 3, I can tell you about it. Now let us come to self-study report, and I told you what is this QIF. I know this particular FDP has very clearly mentioned that it is only with respect to the importance of NAAC for higher education institutes. So I'm very sure all the resource persons, they would have selected resource persons who will talk on the different criterias. I have been given criteria 3, but still I take it, it's my responsibility to highlight the other criteria also very, very briefly. So if you see on my slide here, there are different marks, the one marks that is given in the brackets, which says it's 150. Now, criteria 1 and criteria 3 have for 150 marks. Criteria 2 is a very, very high scoring one because it is at 300 marks. When you go from criteria 4 to 7, that is 4, 5, 6, 7, the remaining 4 criteria, each one of them have 100 marks. So it is, the distribution is like this. Now, with respect to marks, criteria 2 is the highest. With respect to the amount of information that is to be given, the number of metrics, if you see, criteria 3 is the highest. Okay. So now I have summed all this, what is expected in that particular criteria that the NAAC would look forward, or the quality performers, how they will assess. So now you will see in criteria 1, curricular aspects, very clearly it talks about the curriculum development, the flexibility in the academics, and then the very effective feedback system on academics. So all this will encompass how your curriculum is, whether it is in tune with the emerging trends with respect to our nation and the world. So this is what you have to keep in mind when you're doing your curriculum development, whenever you're revising your curriculum. Now, when you come to teaching learning, so it is about teaching, learning, and evaluation. Teaching, what is the methods followed by the teacher? Learning, it is with respect to student-centric. Evaluation, it is both the teacher and the student. The student has done something, given some information, and then the teacher is evaluating the student. So this is for 300 metrics. So this is a very big criteria, which will start off with the student profile, and they have talked about the diversity of the students, that is whether they represent different states of the country. Then how is the teacher going to evaluate? What are the types of the methods, or which are the tools that the teacher is taking up for the evaluation process, so on and so forth. So I have here you can see in the second criteria, we have something that is student satisfaction survey, the SSS, which I also mentioned in the previous slide, which is very important. So that is what that comes in criteria 2. So what does criteria 2 reflect, or what is it that NAAC looks from criteria 2 is whether this is an effective, whether there is an effective mechanism, whether it is transparent, and what has been the level of satisfaction. So this is what is your criteria 1 and 2. Now you come to criteria 3. This is, I told you, a very bulky criteria. A very bulky criteria pegged at 150 marks. It talks about research, innovations, and extension. So now you have, it is in that order. What is the type of research that is being done? What is the ecosystem that is there? What are the consultancy and what are the collaborative works that is taken up by the institute? So in general, I would say, what is the criteria 3 trying to reflect? It tries to reflect what is the research culture that is promoted by the institute. Okay, so this in detail is what the next probably 1 hour I would like to discuss. Now moving to criteria 4, which is on infrastructure and learning resources. Now infrastructure, your infrastructure. Library is a very important infrastructure. Your sports is a very important infrastructure. Hostel, the canteens, the grounds, the playgrounds, everything comes as your infrastructure. So all this, and I'm sure all of you will agree with me that I say in addition to academics, all this is also required from the institute. So that is why I say criteria 4 looks into the outcome of this is whether all this is being provided because they are essential to maintain quality of academics. It's not just books. It's just not reading. It encompasses everything that is to be provided on the campus. Now moving to criteria 5, which is on entirely student centric. So you see all the words that are starting here, the topic headings are also with student. Now, what is it? I said the focus of any institute is nothing and nothing but only the students. So now with respect to students, when they enter the portals of the college and when they leave the portals of the college, whether the college has facilitated the holistic development of a student is what NAAC will look to when you're giving your information under criteria 5. Now you come to criteria 6. It is on governance, leadership, and management. Now, if I start from criteria 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all that is possible only if you have good policies and good practices that is spelled out by the management. A management with an able leader, a visionary leader who is also having very good administrative skills, that is the governing body, all put together. So they see that how this college can be taken forward. So this criteria 6 reflects the effective functioning of the college through the policies and practices that is drawn or is projected by the college. Now you come to criteria 7. So once you do all this, we always we need to project what are the unique selling points, the USPs of the institute. So that is where we have the institutional values and social responsibilities, best practices. What is it that is distinctive or unique of the institution? So this is the 7th one that summarizes, or I can say this is the outcome of all that 1 to 6 that happens. So that is why I said it is a self-assessment that you do. NAAC says you project what you have. Okay, so that is how the criteria 7 reflects. In fact, in criteria 7, there are hardly any quantitative metric. It is more of qualitative metric, a lot of writing and information that has to be shared. So finally, I can say institution which is impactful is a sure reflection of its quality. So we started with quality at the starting of this talk. So I also end here that quality is very important. Now, all that I say yes, quality is important, everything. But we may say it is yes, but an external person has to say yes, it is there. So we need to quantify all this. So what are the measurables that is put forward by NAAC? So they have a very nice formula. For every quantitative metric, they have a formula. And that formula, they check it from the data that is provided in the template. So all this in detail, all these 3 in detail, I will show in my presentation. Then we have a qualitative metric, which talks about the description and explanation, some paragraph that is written. And they stipulate it should be 100 words, it should be 250 words, it should be 500. Mind you, when you are uploading the document, even if the word is 501, it says resubmit. That means we cannot put even one word extra. The software that is done by NAAC is extraordinary. It is very, very good. So we have to just follow whatever is mentioned in that particular template. Now we are doing the measurement. It could be the first bullet is the quantitative metric. The second bullet is a qualitative metric. So for these two, what is the proof that information that you're given? You have to give the NAAC will verify that. So for that, you have to give the proof. That is through the scanned copies of the documents that you will submit. So this is how they measure whatever you are declaring. Now the process of this documentation is ends up like this. That is entire thing, if I have to put it in a nutshell, entire all these slides that I told you now, if I have to put it in a nutshell, you should have a summary sheet. You will have a quantitative metric which is in the form of templates or tables. You have a qualitative metric which you're going to prove in terms of scanned copies of the documents. You are going to put up information on the website. You will have some institutional brochures, handouts, so etc. etc. Whatever you feel it is necessary can always be put into this documentation process. But mind you, even though it is IQAC, is a small team that is working, but it is this team gets tagged up with a bigger team, that is with all the stakeholders of the institute. Sorry. So that is why I said teamwork is the ultimate one that will fetch the result. So the ultimate goal of this is to establish a quality system in place. See, I always tell that we have to work for establishing a quality system. And then incidentally, the NAAC comes with a grade. It is not that we start working towards, okay, NAAC is asking for this, NAAC is asking for that, I will do this. It's not like that. You have to see that whether a quality system is in place. NAAC will pitch in to say, or will see whether the quality system is in place. That's all. But our goal should be to establish a quality system in place. That is why the quality term Q is added in IQAC, Internal Quality Assurance Cell. Now, these are some of the templates that is there, the sample calculation. I think who are all the participants here, you're very much aware of this. I have just given a glimpse of it. Like 132 means it stands for your criteria 1, where you talk about the number of value-added courses. So the answer for this was 43. And if it's the average percentage enrolled for this value-added courses, that is in 1230. Yeah. Okay. At this point, I would just, you have to, when you're going for the NAAC process, you have to be very clear what are the years that you are going to submit the data. NAAC will ask for the last 5 years. So now, let us say today is November 10th, 2020. So this academic year is 2021 academic year. So if you are going in this month for submission of your NAAC document, SSR to NAAC, then your 5 qualifying years, previous 5 years, will then become 1890, 1780, 1670, 1560, and then 1450. So that is how you need to work. Mind you, now you have started to prepare your document now in 2021. And then let us say by the time you submit, right, it will take a year. With my experience, I say, it will definitely take 1 year for you to compile all this data. But nevertheless, you should keep postponing that I will do it tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow. It is not like that. 1 year means I say 365 days, all the 365 working days is required for this type of job. Now, by any chance you overshoot and then you fall into the academic year 21-22, then again you have to start from 2021, 1920, 1890. So your last 5 years is redefined again. So irrespective of which year you're going to apply or not, that is why NAAC has insisted about AQAR. You start preparing your annual quality assurance. Whenever you may go for NAAC, right? You have to take the last 5 years data. So every year you have to work with the same templates, unless of course NAAC will say what are the changes. That is why I said IQAC has to keep looking at the website. So this is the type of the template. I mean, this is I say it's a quantitative metric. It's a QN metric, 1.3.2 and 1.3.3. So these two metrics, I have just put this number of value-added courses. I mentioned, let us say, in the last 5 years, we had 43. I've just taken an example here. It is 40. Even these numbers here are just some numbers over here. So 43. So you will see that in the next slide, that we need to mention all the 43 value-added courses that was imparted. Meticulously, the Data Validation and Verification Center, DVV process that is initiated from day one of your submission of your SSR. We'll check out, okay, there is a research methodology that is given by civil department and they've offered it for one time. So they say, what is the proof for this document? So like this, they check for all the 43 documents. So this is what has to be done very, very meticulously by the IQAC team. Now, if there is another, I've just taken another example, like 223, that is your criteria 2, that is percentage of differently abled students. So then I just given an example, right? This was in some year where in BMS college, we had 28 students who were differently abled out of the 5,326 students. So they asked, this is the formula that is given by NAAC. So it was 4.52%. Now, what I'm writing on the right side, do not worry. When I come to criteria 3, I will go in detail with that. So now just keep an account. So I said 28 over here. I have given the information. So this is the template that NAAC gives. It's a template that is devised by NAAC. You cannot change any word of it. You cannot change anything. Name of the student. You cannot make it name of the candidate. No, it is given by NAAC. You have to follow the same template. So you name of the student, gender, so on and so forth. So if you count, you can count. You will see 28 that I showed you in the numerator there. All details has to be given here. And all of you know, it is an online submission. Any cell that you leave empty, it will not submit. You have to see, unless it is given, unless it is completed, you cannot submit. So this ends the first part of my presentation. I have been the one-way traffic here. I have been talking here. I would just like to know, would the participants like to take a small break before I start with the second part of the presentation? Hello, madam. Hello, Sneha.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. A short break. So I take a little of water.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. It's audible. And
Yes,
the screen
ma'am.
is also shared, no? Right? No problem with
Yes.
the
No problem.
transmission? Okay, fine.
Okay.
Sneha madam? Sneha madam, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Is there any break? 5 minutes now?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am have. Yes, sir.
No,
Ma'am have
yeah,
taken,
I think she
2
needs
minutes.
it. She needs it. Yeah, we
Yes,
should
yes,
understand. She may be needing some 5 minutes break. Let's all be in line, logged in, and let's wait for 5 minutes.
Sir. Actually, it is better to be online only, sir.
Online only, yeah.
Yeah.
Log out. We'll be there.
Yes.
And let
Yes.
the madam, whenever she joins, then the session will
I
continue.
have joined. I have joined, sir. I just wanted water.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I just took a cup of water.
We can understand. We have all our academicians. We can understand
Yeah,
how it's
yes,
speak for 1.5 hour continuously.
yeah.
Yeah.
And of
Yes,
course,
this
teaching in
is-
front of students is a good experience, but teaching in front of talking in front of the computer is not.
Yeah, that's it.
It's more
Yeah.
taxing.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Can I start?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let's start.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is the good afternoon to all of you. Okay. This is the second part of my presentation. There is some cross talk, madam.
Yes or no?
Madam, there is some cross talk.
Yes, ಅಂತ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡಿ.
Yes, sir.
Can you please mute?
We should speak it now.
No? ಅನ್ಸಿದಲ್ವಾ?
ಹಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ
Hello.
ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಡೋ
I request the other participants to mute from your side.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, madam.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So this is the second part of the talk today. That is the important documents that is to be kept. So I think, of course, it will be boring if I just put in words, but the topic is like this. I need to share only words. So that is why please bear with me and my presentation. So this is the a second part of the part of my talk, a very small portion that is on important documents to be maintained. One is IIQA, the other one is profile of the institution, the other one is extended profile of the institution. Okay, now we will just go very fast. What is IIQA? What is IIQA? Under IIQA, what is the one that you need to submit? You have to first see your institute has a basic eligibility. That is 2 years, 2 batches should have gone out of the college. Then only you can apply. Then whether you have complied, you have the compliance from the UGC or from the MHRD. Then you have to submit profile of the institute. Academic information, how many departments are there, permanent affiliated or temporary affiliation, period of affiliation, period of accreditation, NBA, all that. In NAAC, when we submit, we also submit the accreditation status from NBA. So that is also there. Program details. When did the program start, inducted, or has it closed, or is it running? What are the master's program under that particular department? So civil department, how many we have? We have 1 undergraduate and we have 3 postgraduate. So these are the program details. And quality information is with respect to when was the IQAC self-formed? How many members are there? So all that is on quality information. This is IIQA. The next is profile of the institution, where they just talk about the basic information of the institution and details of reorganization, that is with respect to the programs that are run there. Institution with potential for excellence. This is very important. That is whether the institute has been a beneficiary of some funding, World Bank funding. It could be a technical education quality improvement program, whether TechU funding is there, or whether it has been identified from MHRD or the AICT or the UGC as a center of excellence, COI, or the college would like to see what else they have the potential for excellence. So all that information comes here. And the last but not the least, it is the location, area, and the activity of the campus. Where is it located? What is the area of that? What is the area of your campus? And so on and forth. So this only reflects the profile of the institution. Now, the third one is one which I want to draw your attention to. Now, this extended profile of the institution is a very important information that you need to do it very, very meticulously, because here you're only playing with numbers. Here you have to only feed numbers. And these numbers that you feed here becomes the denominator for the metrics when it goes for the calculation. We do not feed any numerator, we do not feed any denominator when we are submitting. That is done by the NAAC software automatically. So what you give here will reflect there as the denominator over there. The template information reflects the numerator number, whereas what you give an extended profile reflects the denominator number. I will give example as and when I move. So what is the extended profile of the institution that you need to give? We have to give program details, student details, academic details, and institution details. Now, if I have to tell you all the metrics, the quantitative metric that I said contributes to 70% of your SSR, in a nutshell, in the summary, in the highlighted form, a few of them will come into these 4, all these 4. The 7 criteria's quantitative metric will come, important ones of that will come into these 4. So it is very important that the extended profile of the institution is checked and rechecked once again. Okay. So now let me briefly tell you what is this program. It says number of programs offered year-wise for the last 5 years. So at BMS, 18 departments, but the number of programs we are offering is 27. That was in 16-17. Even now we continue with 27. So this 27 becomes the denominator in one of your criteria. So like this, we have so many number of new programs inducted, if any, and any UGC program, PG program offered, which is not covered under the autonomous status of UGC. So these are some information that should be done very cautiously by IQAC in coordination with the higher-ups, with the authority, with principal, with vice principal, deans, director. So they are the people who will tell you about this information. Now this is program profile. I have put all the questions here. Okay, so you can look into it. Now what is with respect to student? Now this student it reflects in two criteria. Information on students comes in criteria 2, teaching learning evaluation, and it comes in criteria 5, student progression. So these 5 questions that they've given become the denominator for those metrics. Now, number of students year-wise during last 5 years. So I've just shown the table that was prepared. So we had what is UGC number, undergraduate number of students number, the postgraduate number of students. So here I give year-wise. So he is asking year-wise, then you have to put a table year-wise. Number of outgoing final year students last 5 years. This is the table. Now he says total number of only outgoing students. So only outgoing students 1526. So this is just a number. I have just put that. So this total number. In some other thing, you will see the total number will be the addition of all this. So it goes, you have to be very careful. You have to read, understand, and then provide the data. So total number of outgoing students is, if I put here as 1526, in one of your metric, in your criteria 5, where the student progression comes, there they will want to know what is the percentage of and that is the, I say, result analysis. So in that result analysis, at the bottom, he will put for the outgoing students, what was the pass percentage, only for the outgoing students. The denominator is taken here from this 2.3. So you should be very careful of that. So there you cannot put some number on the numerator just because you want to put 90% result. You want to put 85%. No, it is not like that. Please, I again say, please project whatever information is there. Put the correct information. Today you may be getting B grade. It's okay. But definitely tomorrow you will get an A+ grade. It's not the grade that is important. I keep telling, it is the quality culture that has to be inculcated by each one of us in the institute. Okay. So the information should be transparent, should be correct. Okay. Now the number of the 2.4 number of students appeared in the institution year-wise during last 5 years. This is 2.4. Number of revaluation application year-wise during last. Now this revaluation application, I told you, it will come into picture in criteria 2, where in 2 as well as in criteria 5, because they are the 2 criteria which projects about student. So this is very, very important. Now we move on to academics. Now number of courses in all programs year-wise last 5 years, or across during number of courses offered by the institution across during the last 5 years. Once he'll tell year-wise, another time he will not mention year-wise. If it is year-wise, you have to give the breakup. It is not year-wise, you have to take the last qualifying years that you're projecting, take the average divided by 5. Now, similarly, number of full-time teachers. Now, this I would like to concentrate here because this is what gets connected with your criteria 3. Criteria 3, everywhere we will have this denominator, number of full-time teachers worked in the institution during the last 5 years. You will see here 3.3 is also number of full-time teachers year-wise during the last 5 years. So if it is 3.3, you follow this table. Now 3.4, you want number of full-time teachers worked in the institution during the last, add all the 5, divided by 5, put here as the number, put it in bracket average. And that is the number, like I say in BMS college, if it is 326, for all the metric I will show you in criteria 3, the denominator becomes 326. So it will pick from here. So extended profile, please put it with important quotes, important, very, very important. Information that you share on this extended profile becomes the denominator. Number of teachers are recognized as guides. So again, this particular information will calculate in some formula. Number of sanctioned posts, all this is with respect to teachers. This last one is on the publication. So this publication is again part and parcel of your criteria 3. It talks about research, innovation, and extension. So this is about academic. The last is about the institution. So it talks about just to see how the growth of the institution is, or how many people are sorting for this institution. They try to find out what is the eligible application received year-wise during the last 5 years. Now, if it is through CET, we do not know how many people apply for that. So you can put the information as to how many applications you get for the management quota. Because for management quota, Let us say you have 1,200 seats for your first year intake for all the departments, and then the applications, in that 1,200, let us say 15%, 15% is the management quota. So let us say 1,000 students, so your management quota is, let us say 15% is 150 of that. And then for 150, how many applications did you get? Did you get 10,000 applications? That is what they look here, number of eligible. Being a private college, of course, definitely there is again a sharing, that is your CET and Comet K and all that. But you can only, the count that you can get for eligible application will be only from the management quota. So that is how you can just do this. Then number of seats earmarked. So they would like to see whether the reservation policy is being followed. This reflects your criteria for total number of classrooms and seminar halls, computers on the campus, and then total expenditure excluding salary year-wise, annual lighting power requirement. This is from criteria 7. And seventh one also is from criteria 7, annual power requirement of the institution. So this is the summary of your institution that you give, which becomes the basis for all other calculation. So this ends your part 2. So part 2, why I have mentioned part 2, even before going to, that is my criteria 3 is, I want to tell you whatever I have discussed in my part 1 and whatever I have discussed in part 2 becomes the basis for criteria 3. Otherwise, straight away criteria 3, you will not know the importance of it, or you will not know the significance of each and every metric that is put here. So IQAC plays an important role again over here. So they need to bridge all the gaps that is there. So I will start off at this point with criteria 3, which is on research, innovation and extension. A very bulky criteria. It has the maximum number of metrics, minimum number of qualitative metric, maximum number of quantitative metrics. So when I say quantitative metrics, you play with numbers again here. You have to be very careful. You need, every number counts here. And then the weightage that is given here is 150 marks. Now what follows in my presentation now will be discussion on these 30 metrics. Metric by metric is the same word, the same heading, whatever is displayed on the NAAC website has been taken. And so you need not worry, you need not write down anything for this, because whatever I have taken, all this information is the same format from the NAAC. Okay, let us go one by one. Now, what is these two colors that I have kept here? One on the left and one on the right. Now, it is the, I can say the responsibility of the IQAC office to see that they understand what is the question. Question is the metric that they call here. So what is the question here and what are the documents that they want to upload? And accordingly, I have just mentioned what was followed in BMS College. That is it. I again tell you, it is left to individual to take up whatever, how they want to maintain the documents, but these are the documents that has to be provided. Now let us see the first question. It says, the institution has a well-defined policy for promotion of research, and the same is uploaded on the institutional website. So you're committing here. He says you have a policy and whether the policy is uploaded on the institution website. The answer is very simple, whether you write it as yes or you write it as no. So when definitely every college will have something to do with research, right? So because you're having an undergraduate program or a postgraduate program or a research center, or you're having qualified teachers who would like to take up research, definitely in some form or the other, research will be going on. It's an ongoing process. So for us and for all, generally the answer is yes. Now, if the answer is yes, it's not enough. The NAAC people ask us, what are the documents you need to keep to see that you complement this answer, that your answer is yes. How do you justify that? So it says every word of it has to be read. It is the responsibility of the IQAC director, I can say, has to see that every word is read in the true spirit Okay, and then try to provide the information. There is one thing that keeps coming in all the metric. In the file description, they say any other additional information. So I don't talk about that. Any other additional information is left to the institute. But what we need to concentrate is the other things which the NAAC says for uploading. See, they say minutes of the governing council or the syndicate or the board of management, whomever you call it, related to research promotion. So whether that MOM, that minutes of that is put up. So here you can see BOG meeting. So for us, it is board of governors we call. So that is why we put board of governor meetings. So when I click on this, you can see the path here. So you can see when you click, I cannot click here because I don't have the supporting document here. So this particular one, when they click, the NAAC people, it will go to the meeting proceedings. And in the meeting proceedings, he will check whether this policy is there, policy on research. And then what else? We have put in the meeting proceedings. We have talked about promoting research. What was the policy? That is again another document. And then we have not only in BOG meeting, we also have in academic council meetings, the highest body that decides on academics. So the academic council meetings also it was talked. So in fact, I can say that comes as an additional information here. So wherever you have talked about research, please provide that document. And this is one way of putting this numbering. That is, this document is for 3.1.1. So that is why you see all the three are marked as 3.1.1.1. The click of a button there will open that page. That you have to ensure. So that is why he says URL of the policy document should be uploaded on the website. I'm committing now. I'm committing here that I have a policy and I have put it up on the website. So that is what they ask. You're committing. You're the one who are committing. Show it. That's it. Now, what is this temp 3? This is the template. It's a short form for template. We have just put template 3. Wherever quantitative metrics come, all of them are grouped together in that particular template. I will show you what does template 3 means. Because it is criteria 3. Now you come to the second one. The institution provides seed money to its teachers for research. Now, what is the seed money? Seed money is a money that is provided by the institute to see that the staff members are encouraged to do their research. See, now normally staff members, when they join, they may have a master's degree, they may have a PhD degree, but they may have the passion to pursue that. So some sort of a help that is provided internally, in addition to the external grants that you get. Not each and everybody gets external grants from the AICT or the DST or the different bodies who provide you the external grants. It's not easy that everybody gets, but the institute feels that there should be a research culture. So that is why they give some money. So what is that money they give? It could be in thousands, it could be in lakhs. So simply, I just put this number here. So it was around 15.72 lakhs on an average. This is a formula that is given by the NAAC people. Now, what is it that you have to provide? You have to give, here he says, you have to clearly see what is this year you are going to enter, the 5 qualifying years. And for the 5 qualifying years, you have to put INR, that is the Indian rupees. You have to write it in lakhs. So you have to write and then you find the average. Now, what is a supporting document? Now, in this case, there is a template that is to be provided, and also you have to produce some, upload some important documents. One is minutes of the meeting, MOM, for the seed money. Exclusively in some meeting about seed money was talked of, so that minutes of the meeting has to be there. Then that expenditure statement has to be signed by the finance officer. That this is provided, this much was provided, and this much was utilized. What was the duration? And who are the list of teachers receiving? So I would say whoever is given in charge to do some work on any of the criteria, you have to read every word from the starting till the end. Every word you have to read, understand. Otherwise, you don't understand, please discuss, and then you provide the document. So when they say template, so that means it's very clear. For 3.1.2, I have a data template to be provided, and also I have some other information to be uploaded. So this data template 3.1.2 will be marked in my template criteria 3. And this seed money that was provided becomes the verification, that is the proof for giving the seed money. So this is how it comes like that. Now let us go to 3.1.3. He talks about teachers awarded with international fellowship for advanced studies or research during the last. How many of them have gone out of the college? It is international fellowship. So when it is international fellowship, it is out of the country. So how many of them have moved out of the country? Have they gone to America, Germany, Australia, or any even Africa, any place where they have got a fellowship for continuing some advanced studies or research? So that information, he says, one is the year. This year remains the same throughout for all the criteria of your SSR. The number of teachers, it could be zero also. It is okay, no problem. Maybe in 2014 I had zero. It is fine, no problem. So you see that, but generally if it is like this, that means I see there is a positive trend. There is some sort of encouragement for teachers to take up international fellowship studies. There's no harm. I said in 14-15 you can still have, there was a break. Nobody wanted to do that. It is zero. Or here there were 5, 4 and it has tapered and it is zero. So then probably NAAC will question us. Why is it tapering? Why is it is zero? Is there is a change in policy? Did the college feel that they should not send them? It could reflect that. So it is okay. See, for any number you put, for anything that you write, you're answerable. That's all. NAAC doesn't say that this is to be done, this is not to be done. You are answerable for whatever information that you provide. So what is a template? So in this also there are two templates. One is a data template, the other one is the e-copy. That is the scanned copy of the award letters. Now at this stage, I will will again bring that information on the department coordinators who get the data from the department, various department. When they are collecting the data, it is better if you collect the data along with the proof. Let us say civil department, which has 30 staff members, out of which let us say only 2 staff members were given this international fellowship. Then the staff member will just mention, yes, I had gone to Germany to do my studies. It is just not enough if that information is given. It is the department coordinator to request and get that letter. So can you please, madam, can you please give me the letter that was given to you, that was issued to you, so that for you to go ahead to pursue your advanced study. That becomes the proof. So one is the department coordinator will take the hard copy. The second thing is he or she will scan it and also keep the soft copy. So department wise also you put all information so that this is also required for your program accreditation, that is MBA. So whatever you do for NAAC will also help you immensely for your MBA also. So you put this information there in the department and also share the same information with IQAC. So with IQAC, you have it on the institute level. In the department, you have it in the faculty level. It comes like that. So this 3.13 gets marked under this template 3. The e-copies of this marked with this. So we have given this legend. So this is award letters 3.1.3. I would still advise, please, this number that is there on the metric is how you need to save your file when you're doing your working file. Working files, you have to name it by this number. That is whatever is the metric number. Then it becomes easy for you. Otherwise, it's very difficult for all of us to remember what is there in that particular metric. Otherwise, you can still give, like down the lane, you will see another number and they say patents. So you could give 3.3.3 patents. It's okay if you can name it that way or save it that way. So now the data template. So I just go back one more step. Here is the list of teachers and the international fellowship details. Provide data templates. What is a data template? Now the data template here. So this is the metric number. This is the metric, the question, and 6 is the marks that is allotted for that. So there is nothing like a minimum mark. I mean, I really don't know what is the benchmark for that. So probably one thing is very clear. If you have 0, nobody definitely will get 0 marks for that. Now in the last phase, 6 is given. So there is nothing like a maximum for that. So I know only what is the minimum for that. Provide all the details, name of the teacher, name of the award that he got, whether it was a fellowship or what was it. Each country or each university will have the name of that award. So you mention that, the year of the award and who has awarded that. So this detail is the template, which will also be uploaded. These templates are the templates. For every template, you will have a formula. So you should be very careful. Now, I will show you as you go down what are the other types of templates also. So now we will move to 3.1.4. Now this has, it's a question, that's a very interesting question, you know. They have asked on the facilities. Now, what are the facilities here? They've asked, is there an instrumentation center? So on and so forth. Now, the option is you can choose any one of them. They say opt for one. Okay, in BMS college, of course we had option A. Any four of the facilities exist. So you should be very honest. You can either it is three of the facilities or it is none. Please mention it, because if you cannot mention whatever you feel. Okay, I will put the highest, but if you do not provide the proof for that, NAAC will slash it down. So you have to be very careful. You have to put what is the requirement, name of the facility, when was it established, and videos and pictures. So we put both of them. We also put pictures. We also put videos. These are the places where additional information you can put. What is required in that cell you put. In additional information cell, you put any other extra information that you want. So you have to place the link of the videos. You can geotag the photographs. You can upload the facility. Now I will just come to what are the facility. Now, what is it that you provide in a central instrumentation center? It could be your data center. It could be where your server is housed. So that is your instrumentation. This is a facility which generally in engineering colleges it's not there, right? So whether you have an animal house, greenhouse, or a museum. So some of the arts colleges, they have a museum. So it is like that. Central fabrication facility, generally it is with the mechanical or the instrumentation department. Like we had a 3D printing facility. So some sort of a fabrication facility that we have provided. Then media labs or business labs, that is MBA, they have the studios are there with architectures. And then you have research and statistical databases. So what are the databases or the softwares that you have, which is placed in one place so that all research scholars can access it. So this is how, and if you see very carefully, each one of them are very important for promoting research in the institute. So this is a very important one. You have to take proper videos. You have to take a clipping of it. You have to give a commentary on that and then upload it. Now, what is it that comes in the data template? See, when it's in this bracket, file description, he says upload data template, then it is sure that you have to put a template for that. In the data template, what is the information? You have to give name of the facility, when was it established, and some picture of it. So in the template, you put the picture. In the additional information, you can put up a video. You can upload a video. So that is about the 3.1.4. Now come to 3.2.1, which talks, the question itself is like a paragraph. It says that what were the grants that you have for research projects, which is sponsored by, it could be government and the NG, that is the government and the non-government sources. It could be from industry. It could be from corporate houses like Tata's or anybody, international bodies, endowments, chair in the institution in the last 5 years. Now, this template is combined with 3.2.4. So when I come to 3.2.4, I will show you what is it that is combined. Now, here you talk about the money that you have received. Now, for this, what is the template information? The template information is this much. You have to give the name and the department, how much you got, duration, and so on and so forth. So this template is 3.2.1 gets into this MS Excel. We have, it's an Excel sheet. Please do this information in the Excel sheet only. Okay. So this is the Excel sheet that is there. Template 3, what I'm showing here is an Excel sheet. I couldn't take that clipping here because it's a very big thing. In Excel sheet, it's difficult for me to take it and put it on the slide, on the PPT. So that is why I have redone the templates here and there just to show you. So this is one thing. And the other one was on the grant letters. That is the e-copies of the grant letters. Each and every copy. So now if I mention here 45 research projects totally, let us say, I'm just giving it as an example, 45 are there. NAAC will go by 45 award letters. It's not enough, it is only the award letters. They will see the clarity of the letter. They will call back and check up with the person who has issued the letter. Lot of verification happens. Lot of cross verification happens. So you have to give only data that is available and correct from the institute. we have also uploaded this on the website, and so that is where we website in the sense in some of these sources, from that particular source they would have put this, that this person from BMS College of Engineering has been awarded. So as an additional information, as a cross check for the information provided, we also had put up the link where they can source these award letters also. So this is the additional information. Now, what is the data template? Now, data template is the template which will keep all this information, Okay. Now, I have taken on data templates only few of them so that it could fit into this PPT. Now, 322 is on the research centers. So, what are the research centers that you have? And so, we have put up the recognition of the research center letter that is given by the AICT, and and the VTU recognized research centers are put here. Those letters, they are letters which have the seal and sign from that particular body. So that becomes here, and name of the research centers goes into the template. Now, percentage of teachers. So now we start with the teachers. Okay. Now this was on the institute level. Now we come to the teachers level. Now, how many research guides are there? So now I just draw your attention to this formula. Number of teachers recognized as research guides, total number of teachers. Now, where did this total number of teachers, where do they get this information? It is from that extended profile of the institution. I told you IIQA, what I gave you earlier. That is why I told you that information should be pakka. Like I said, for BMS, let us say 326, then automatically it will pop 326 here for from the NAAC website. So 326, it will take directly. You will not enter anything of the formula. This formula is required for you to cross check whether every year, whether there has been an enhancement of teachers who have been recognized as research guides. So this in turn, when this information is shared with the higher ups, they get to know how to redefine their research policy. So that is, every information is very important for the growth of, let us say in this criteria, it promotes research culture in the institute. So what is it that the details file description? You have to give grant of the recognition of the centers and this information of the teacher. Name of the teacher, recognition as guides, and from which discipline they come. That goes into template 3. Under the Excel sheet, it comes as for the sheet number there and the below, you give it as 3.2.3. That's it. Now 324, it's number of research projects. Now this is combined with 321. Now what is 321 and what is 324? The data in the table is different. In 321, he asked in INR in lakhs. There you have given in these cells the amount. Whereas in 324, the number of the projects, in 12-13 I may have 10, 13-14 I had 15, 14-15 maybe 20, 15-16 it might have dropped to 18, 16-17 again it must have gone to 24. No problem. So you give the number of research project, give all details of the research project, all this. Now this details he will mention here template. In the uploading also he will mention template. So that template is the temp 3 that is just missed here. It comes here. So viewed, instead of that, it is viewed document here. That is 324 was a template. Grant letters, e-copies of that scanned, and that particular file will be stored as grant award letters for research project sponsored, and this number 324, that number is there. Again, I mentioned here, you see in the denominator, average number of full-time teachers during the last 5 years. So here also I will substitute that whatever number which I mentioned as 326. So now you can understand why I had to share part 2 here, because without part 2 this does not make any sense here. So this is about 3. Now 331, about an ecosystem. So now we are coming to a qualitative metric, because a qualitative metric is a metric which tells about the number of words that you have to give a description. Now, here it says, describe the available incubation center evidence within a maximum of 500 words. So, only 500 words. So, I will just show you a copy of it. This is what we have uploaded. Center for Innovation, that was signed, that was mooted by Medical Electronics. When was it inaugurated? What was the objective? What was the goal? What is the incubation center doing? the benefits of that they have got. So you can see our chairman here, Tanan Pai sir, and she is the madam who was instrumental in setting up this incubation facility, Dr. Suma here. So this is a small write-up that they will see whether it is 500 words. And I mind you, I told you it is more than 500 by one also. It will be, you will have to resubmit. So I go back to that. So this is how a qualitative metric comes into picture. Now next one is on workshop seminars conducted on only on IPR. You have to be very careful. That's why I said read every word of it. You might have conducted several workshops and seminars, but they have said it should be on IPR. And what are the industry academia innovative practices? There are two things that is here clubbed. Either you can put exclusively on IPR, and you can also put between industry and academia some innovative practice. See, every seminar will not be an innovative practice. I agree with that. But there will be some amount of innovation that is there. When you are linking up with industry, definitely industry is a one step forward. So whatever you have done jointly, you can put into this metric here. So this 332 comes in the template here, and whenever you do any exercise, whenever you do any conduction of a workshop or a seminar, there is one thing that will be asked. They will ask report of the event. For everything, now in 12-13, I have done 10. For 17-18, of course, there are 6 here, because I told you of that problem that by the time we submitted, we had offshooted one academic year. So that is why we just put here 17-18. Ultimately, for BMS second cycle, the qualifying years was 13-14 to 17-18. Though we started in 12-13, but then we ended up doing it because the format changed for the SSR. So that is the reason that we had to fall in line with that. So we had to take some time. It took us 1 year to redo that. So that is 17-18 over here. Let us say the number of SAB events that was conducted. I put here 10, I put here 8, I put 15. That many reports of the event. Every event has to have a report. What do you do it in? What do you submit in a report of the event? Report of the event, it's just one A4 size sheet. Please write a nice paragraph. Write what was the title of the event, when was it conducted, and how many were the participants. Put one photograph to highlight that particular event. That's it. That is what they ask for the report of the event. So this is the list that goes up, and these activity reports again will be put on the website. It could come as SSR on the website under IQAC, and under that we had put it under criteria wise. Under criteria 3, we have put this link, which was that is 3.3.2 for these IPR sessions. So this I have already told you. This I have showed you. This is the data template for the ecosystem, that is under 3.3.2. Template for what I discussed now on IPR. So this is the last 5 years. Now for the marks, that is for 3.3, total marks is 20. For 3.3. That means there is 3.3.1, 3.3.2, 3.3.3. It goes like that. So each one of them will be subdivided accordingly, and that marks, when you add up, it will come to 20. Now for this 20, 3.3.2, I just go back, 3.3.1. 3.3.1. So this particular will have some mark here. It could be a mark of 4 marks or something like that, right? Then now you come to 3.3.2 has 6 marks. Now we will have 3.3.3. Next one I will show you. Now this is a data template. Again, the year of when it was conducted, what was the name of the workshop, the period, the weather. You have to give here the link. When you're in some places, link has to be provided directly. In some places, the link has to be provided within the template. So you have to be very careful about that. And then when when you're talking about IPR, it is better that you have an IPR cell that is established in the college, which will look into this IPR issues. So 3.3.3 now, that's what I told you now, 333. Then there is 334. Each one of them has the marks, separate marks. When you put it together, it sums up to 20. So here it is about the awards for the innovation by whether the institution has been awarded, or a teacher has been awarded, or a research scholar, or a student. Like for example, student gets best project award. Research scholar gets a best paper award. Teacher gets a best teacher award. Institute gets a best practice award. Like for example, BMS College, we got an award for very good under TechCubes 2, phase 2. Phase 1 also we got an award. What was it was called as the best performing institute under TechCube. So TechCube 2 also we got an award. Irrespective, when they give the slash, all of them can be considered under this metric. So it could be an institute level or it could be a student level, all of them. You count on that and then you put the number here. The details, you give it in the form of template 3. The proof, you give it in the form of e-copies of the award letter. This is how you have to work for all the metric. One is the summary, which gives only the number. The second is a template, which gives the details. The third is the proof, which you will scan copies. So now you remember in my earlier slides, I had put these words, the same words what I'm telling you now, scan copies of the document. That is the reason, because you need to put this as the uploading one. Now, if you do not put this, it will not accept. You cannot upload, you cannot submit, you cannot go to the next sheet at all. Next is about startups incubated. It is the same thing. Now you have a startup here. You have to find out what is the sanction order from the institution, because it is incubated on campus. In the college, you are incubating. You're providing some students for their novel ideas to start off on campus, utilizing the support of the labs in the campus. That is the startup. So that information, it is given here. So all information. Now you have also to give what is the contact information of the promoters. So you have to give their phone number, you have to give their email ID, NAAC will cross check. So this is a data template. So this is the data template. See, this is the data template 333, which has 5 marks. 332 that had 6 marks. So like that, when you add all of that, you get 20 marks. So this is the data template. I think now almost all of us, I think by this time you would have now understood what I mean by a template. What is it expected for you to submit in the template? So when you give this award here, you have to mention whether that award was in which category. The 4 categories that is mentioned here, which category that the award was given. Okay, and the proof for that. Now you come to 341. Now in 341, he says whether there is a code of ethics to check malpractices and plagiarism. So the answer generally will be yes, right? So what is in case of BMS College, we had a separate IPR policy document. In fact, we have a book that was published. So that is a code of ethics that we gave. And for the malpractices, we have our licensed software of Turnitin software that is there. So when we do this, and it says, answer is yes, but you have to give a data template. Data template is when did you take the software, when the licensed software, and so on and so forth. For additional information, what did we do? We took a screenshot of the software and put it there. So we doubly provide the proof in some cases. And 342, what is the incentives to teachers who have received awards? So the answer is yes. The college should provide incentives to teachers who have received. In fact, college, I think maybe in most of their colleges, at least in our college, on Teachers' Day, the teachers are honored for their achievements. The achievements could be anything. They have done just a paper publication, or they have filed a patent, or they have brought in some consultancy more than 1 lakh. For any achievement of the teacher, the institution provides incentives. On Teachers' Day, we are all honored. We are called up to the stage, and then we are given a cash incentive in addition to a certificate. So that all that documents, you have to put e-copies of the letters. First of the award that is given provides the incentive. So now in our college, out of 326 staff members, 300 of them got the award. Let us say all the 300 copies were scanned and put up. So this is the description that is given for the template that is asked here. So that is why this template, temp 3, that means temp is template, 3 is criteria 3. Then you can, when you open that Excel sheet, at the bottom you have sheet numbers. In that sheet numbers, we have put this number as 3.4.2. So number of patents that have been. So now here he talks about patents which are published or awarded, but I would also request, please also make a list of patents that are filed. This will help. Sometime, some examiner or somebody on the peer team will come for the NAAC. So they will ask how many were filed. So try to get information. When you're collecting the information, please collect all the information. Okay, so this is about the patents, and this is the template for the patents, the name, the patent number and thing. This is very much important, very, very important. Patents is something, though it is for 4 marks over here, it's something that they cross check a lot. Because these patent, it will be, there's an international patent index and an Indian patent index. So they go to that particular website and cross check with whatever we have published here, whether that is seen on that website. I told you it is a very, very rewarding experience to do this particular documentation for NAAC. Minute of minute details is to be provided, and minute level verification is also conducted by them. So this is the type of the work that NAAC expects from higher education institutes. So then moving on to the number of PhDs that is awarded. This is a very simple one. They just want to know how many, as a template that is to be provided. So you have with the formula that is here, number of PhD degree awarded during the last 5 years. And then you have the number of teachers as recognized guides. So if you remember in the institute level, you had the recognized guides information that they had asked. When you see in 3.1, if I'm right, how many teachers were as recognized guides? So you see that information that you put there goes into the denominator here. So they've tried to find a ratio. See, either they try to find a ratio or they try to find a percentage by using the formula. So they want to know how many PhD degrees was awarded in that year and how many teachers have been recognized guides during the last 5 years. So this is the information that is given here. So this is provided in the template as 3.4.4. So then you have the information very clearly given here, the template data that is to be provided. Now, now coming to this research part, there are three 3.4.5, 4.6 and 7 in the three of the next 3 slides is with respect to the research papers. Now in this research papers, we don't have much of any work to do here from the college side. The thing is we have to publish papers, of course, that is an important work. But what NAAC does is they take this information from the InflibiNet. So they take this information from the InflibiNet and they check it. Now, for example, but you have to provide some information here, cross-check from InflibiNet. Now, the data that is to be provided is, now, let us say Mangla Keshwa. Now, I have published a paper. I have given an affiliation as BMS College of Engineering. So, in our college, let us say there were 5 types of affiliations given. Like Mangla Keshwa, we'll give it as BMS College of Engineering. Another person, Sujata, will give it as BMSCE. Another person, Lata, will give it as B.M.S.C.E. So you have to identify all that ways that it is given. In fact, that's why in our college we said, please all of you follow only one method of affiliation. Otherwise, it becomes difficult to identify this on the website. So you have to be very clear about how you are giving the affiliations. So that is a cross-check that they do. And this is the formula, number of publications that has happened in UGC notified journals. And the average, you see the average number of full-time teachers almost comes through all the formula that I have mentioned here. The next, this is the data template. I think data template, all of them has to be given. You should be very clear. Here they've given either ISBN or ISSN. ISSN comes for the journal publication. ISBN comes for the book publication. Suppose you have gone to the proceedings of any of the conferences that you've gone, those proceedings have been converted into a book and a publisher has published it with giving an ISBN number. So that comes here. So you have to see. So in research papers, check whether it is a journal publication, it comes as ISSN. If it is a conference paper, it comes with ISBN. But not all conference papers will be published by a publisher. Then you cannot put the data here. So that is where a teacher has to meticulously check and select only those top conferences. Only in very good conferences, it could be national, it could be regional, it could be international. only they get converted into a proceedings, and that proceedings gets published. So you have to look into it. So when the coordinator is collecting information, they have to see into this minute detail. So they should be aware of what is a template. So in turn, IQAC office provided these templates to all the department coordinators. So they have gone through this. We have a meeting where the IQAC director will address all the coordinators. Principal will address all the coordinators. Then director will address all the coordinators. Tell them these are the information that required from their side. So they have to do it. It could be as minute as sometimes it is date. So date, of course, has not come in criteria 3. In some other place, date has come. You have to give it in the format. If they ask DD, MM, YY, YY format, you have to do it. If they give it as MM, DD, YY format, you have to do it. So it comes like that. So this is about continuation with the publication. It could be on books and chapters. There it was that information on UGC. Here it is with respect to, even you have contributed to one chapter in a book, you can take this. So that is where your ISBN information comes. So this is the template information that goes into the template. Data template. This is a very big template. 346 is a very big template. So they ask all the information to the extent of, I just concentrate on these two. Now, for example, there is a teacher who joined, let us say, your ATME college just recently 1 year back. But in the qualifying years that you put for NAAC, 3 years back, that particular, he was there in a different college, let's say in JC college, SJC college. No problem. You can give that information here. In the qualifying years where he is, you give that credit to the institute where he has done the publication. In turn, you will cross-check. In the affiliating, you would have put that college only where you were. But now you're a teacher in ATME college. No problem. You can put here. Share that information. And where this particular book, who is the publisher, whether it is Springer or anybody, you can just put that particular publisher details. So 347 is again on citations and publication. You should be very careful here. If you see the formula, you will see 0.45. The weightages are different. So 45% weightage for Scopus indexed, 45% index weightage for Web of Science, 10% for Indian Citation Index. So this is again a job that I feel one separate person who is well versed with the computer, who is able to put all these names, check for each and every staff member, their publication details. This to be done parallelly. Even though criteria 3 is given for one person, this 3.4.5, 6 and 7 should be given for another person. It is a very big job because you're giving information for 5 years. You can just check here. Yeah, I may just take another 5 minutes to close this presentation. Kindly bear with me. So the data obtained from InfluBNet will be used for the purpose of calculation of the scores. So that they have declared this particular information. So this is a big exercise, 3, 4, 5, 4, 6 and 4, 7 to be done. This is the template again here on the citation index that it will calculate automatically. NAAC only will calculate given the information in this template. They will calculate all the citation index that you have mentioned for paper wise. Title of the paper, what is the citation index? And you have to give the number of citation. Now, what is different from the previous 347 and 348 is the only difference is the H index that you need calculates. So H index of the Scopus and H index of Web of Science put together, you take the average of it. So that is what, again, this data is got from the InfluBNet. So we cannot say that this is that, this information was not there, I did not get this information. Nothing of that sort. Everything is robust with NAAC. The software will just scan through every document and collect this information. Now, this is a template. The difference is only the H index. In the previous one, it was citation index. Here it is H index. So you have to declare the H index of the institute. Just imagine you do a lot of work, but of course, the weightage of that is only 1 mark. But this is the one that actually reflects the research culture practiced by the institution. Now, we have come to the last two part of it. One is the consultancy, the other one is the collaboration. Now, we started with research publication, the next is consultancy, and the last is on collaboration. So the same thing like you had research policy, We also have to find out whether there is a consultancy policy. What is the sharing between the person who is doing the consultancy, the teacher who is taking up this consultancy work? What is the share matrix between the teacher and the institute for sharing, for conducting it in the or utilizing the infrastructure of the college? So you say it is yes, then please put the document, it will ask. And then share what is the revenue that you have generated in the years. You also have to share the consultancy audited statement. Wherever finance comes, it has to be shared the audited statement. You have to have a signed copy of it when you are uploading it. Okay. So this is about consultancy. This is again, if you have any revenue generated from corporate training, that means from academics, you have trained the industry people. So if that is there, and hence the industry has paid money to the institution. So that is this template. So I told you this will reflect the industry institution interaction. So we have an industry institution interaction cell. So they see to it that sometimes, institute people, the corporate people would like to take some training from the institute. So whether that exercise has been done, then how many were involved, how much money was involved, it comes here. Wherever there is money, there is an audited statement that you have to give. Now, the next one is on, it's a qualitative metric. It is on extension activities, like you have to give in words about the write-up. Now, you're up you're housed in a particular area, in a region. Now, what is the contribution from your side for the neighborhood? Now, I give an example. BMS College is in the heart of the city on the Bull Temple Road of Bangalore, a very important road. And every year during this November Deepavali time, there is one very big activity that takes place, which is called as Kadlekai Parshe, the groundnut festival. Okay. Now, during the time, thousands of people will come onto the road. Thousands. Sometimes it's a 3-day event. It goes up to 1 lakh also. Now, what happens is the vendors who give this groundnuts, they were giving it in plastic cover. So we wanted to sensitize them and see that we had to have a ban of plastic, because this is a global problem. It's a national problem. It's a waste problem for handling waste in Bangalore. So then what we did, BMS College sensitized the students, put up all the students, NCC and all NSS students, asked them to come forward, volunteers, that we will distribute paper bags to these vendors so that they will not bring in plastic bags. So this is one such activity I'm just sharing with you to bring in the community service in the neighborhood. They are seeing around you, surrounding you, what is the one that you have contributed. Another one was we also conducted one program on how when the taxation, collecting property tax and all that became online. We invited people, families, heads from in and around to come there, and we gave an awareness program. So all that writing and the photographs comes in the final reports. So this is a qualitative metric. Okay, the next is the awards for these extension activities. Like we have a best NCC candidate group or all that. So that is what awards only. You cannot put here what you have participated. No, they will remove. If you put also, NAAC will remove all that document. And if I say I had 26 over here, out of which 20 was participating and only 6 was awarded, they will count only 6. They will remove the 20. So you should be very careful. So you have to see it should be a recognition or an award. So that goes as a template, and the letters received goes as a document. So this is, of course, the same outreach program in continuation with 362. It is about the collaboration that done through NSS, NCC, Red Cross. So this is the template here. Now, this is for Swachh Bharat, aid awareness and gender issues. What were the activities that is done? So you see here, number of students. If you remember, I had put one slide earlier with showing 5326. So automatically that number will come here. Total number of students over here. And whenever you conduct any event, it will come as reports of the event that you have to upload. So I think now we have come to the end of this presentation. The 3.7.1 talks about the collaborative activities. It could be research, a joint publication that you have done between you and a staff member from another premier institution or other institution, faculty exchange program, student exchange. where students from other colleges have used the lab facilities in your college. Okay, that he might have done his project here. Fine, that becomes an exchange program here. So you can count on all that. And so these are the data templates. Everything almost you will see here, 99% of criteria 3 has data template. This is the data template that you have to fill in to give all the activities. Any financial support also provided, you have to make a note of it. And then this is institution and industry, whether students have gone an internship, on the job for training, for project work, or they have sharing any research facility, any type of linkage. So when I say e-copies of the linkage, I should just tell you this document was a very big document in BMS college for the 5 years. When I uploaded the internship number was 1756, 1756 letters. I had to scan it. I say we, that is the IQAC office, had to scan that many and upload this document to NAAC. Why I'm saying these numbers here and there is to tell you the seriousness of the proof that is to be provided for NAAC. So this is a template. The last slide that is on the functional MOUs that you have. So the MOUs, e-copies of the MOUs, you have to see whether it is a working MOU, functional, that's why they call it as functional MOU. And in that MOU, what have they mentioned? Have they mentioned that they will provide training? Have they mentioned that they will come and give regular talks? So they will see into that. So all that will come as e-copies of the MOU that is signed. All other things will come as data template. So this is the data template of MOUs. Yeah, thank you. I have come to the end of it. I once again thank all the participants for having attended this FDP and then heard to my talk patiently. Thank you to ATME College once again, to the principal or the dean, and the people who have coordinated with me in organizing this talk. And of course, I'm very ever grateful to my own college for giving me this responsibility to take up the post of IQAC director and go through this NAAC cycle. It was a saga, an experience that will impact a lifetime. So with this, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
I have overshot by 6 minutes. I'm extremely sorry.
It's okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, there's the question answer hour. Probably, I think I would like to take a few questions. And any other, you can always give my email ID. I would like to answer them also. If there is paucity of time, we could do that. A couple of questions, is it allowed? I'll leave it to the organizers to tell me about it.
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah.
actually, one of the participant has a doubt, ma'am.
Yes, please.
For a particular project, student has got best project award, ma'am.
Yes.
And guide has also received best project guiding award.
Okay.
Can both be included as two different entities, or only one should be considered, ma'am?
It is one. Best project award. When it is that's why I said, please, you have to read it properly. If they say number of projects, then it becomes one. If they say number of people, then it becomes two who have got the award. The guide also has got the award, so you will mention at the end as research guide. And student also has got award, research student, right? But if it is number of projects, then it becomes one.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Anything else?
Ma'am, the same thing applies for grants also, no, ma'am?
Yes, grants also, like principal. I think whoever has raised this question, it is with respect to the principal investigator and the co-investigator, correct?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
So if that is the case, number of teachers who have got the external grants, it becomes two. But it is number of external projects, who have received grant, then it becomes one. So you should be very careful. That is why they ask for the number, that proof. In the proof, in the letter of offer letter that comes, it will be very clearly mentioned there. It is one project, but you may have two investigators.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, yes, sir.
Sneha madam, it's over.
Yes, sir, it's over, sir. There are
So
no
now
queries
it is
from
time to
participants.
thank
also.
madam.
Okay, sir.
Is it?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam, Dr. Mangala Keshav.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So you have given very exhaustive presentations, not only on the criteria 3, which pertaining to the research, innovations and extension, how teacher should be committed and involved, and how he should be an integral part of the institution to defend the institution and to work with the institution for getting the accreditation, NAAC accreditation for the institution as a whole. Your presentation was very informative, madam, very exhaustive, and I think most of the informations going to be very useful for our participants, and they're going to implement in their institutions whenever they want to carry out the NAAC accreditation process.
Yes, sir.
So, on behalf of the management, myself, and principal and staff of whole family of ATME College of Engineering, Mysuru, I wholeheartedly thank you very much, madam,
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
having accepted our invitation and sharing your thoughts and experience and expertness to all the participants. I hope your expertness will be very useful for all the participants, and all the participants will definitely going to be agreed upon. So once again, I thank you. Thank you, madam. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
in
Thank you.
future, if you have any clarifications or any input, I presume that we have freeness to contact you.
Yes, sir. You're most welcome. Yeah, I'm
Thank
available.
you very much.
No problem. Any through
Thank
mail or through
you very
phone.
much, and
And
so convey my regards and wishes to your principal, Dr. Ravi Shankar.
yes,
So
sir.
we worked together at the university level many times.
Okay.
So happy to show your concern about the commitment by the principal also.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
madam. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Yes,
very
sir.
much.
Yeah.
So, I thank all the participants for joining morning session. I request all the participants to join the afternoon session exactly at 2:50. So we'll meet back at 2:50. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
Yeah,
all.
thank you, madam. So I leave the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.